Hope you guys are all having a great weekend. This is our weekly watch list video highlighting a few stocks we are watching. Enjoy. Before I get into exactly what we're watching or the 5 stocks we are watching this week, I thought it'd be beneficial to break down QQQ, which is going to be the NASDAQ market. As you guys remember, last week I said, okay, we're watching this inside bar. We got that inside bar. Where do we go from here? We're utilizing the high and low of this weekly candle for further confirmation. Well, we get this close above, we get this push higher. Looks like we want to test higher. Over this 436 area, I do think we have room up into 442, which is just the open of this weekly bar. So, because the point being, we put in this slam lower after consolidating for essentially from March till late April or mid-April, and then we slam lower, gets absorbed, puts in a higher low here. Now let's see if we can test and clear up here to make a new confirmation of this higher low here. So right now, there is no confirmation yet, and let me make this a little bit smaller here. We aren't confirming a higher low yet because this could potentially just boom, fail lower, and then break this and make this a lower high. But if we hold above 436, I do think we have room up into that 442 area overhead and above that up into that 446, 447 area. Looking at it from the daily chart, we come down here, we get a very, very weak slam lower on 5-1. Then we get this nice inside bar and a huge gap up, which happens to come off of NFP. It also helps when you have Apple that beat earnings and push this to the upside. So we put in a higher low, another higher low, confirm that higher low by breaking structure here over this prior high. Watching longs over 436 with a target up into that 442 area overhead here this week. The first play, a majority of longs watching for basically all the mega caps. And really what I like here on Meta, and a really, really nice setup here, is a hold and a break of this flag. So you get this gap down off of earnings, buyers coming in. This candle right here tells me a ton. We tried to push this lower. Look how weak this candle is. When you get a candle this weak, we should see downside. We should have at least tested down near these lows off of this earnings gap. Instead, boom, we get a strong candle, an inside bar, a follow-through bar here. So watching this really over 452.25 with a target up into 456 and then 468, and then this swing low right around 475. Going to be one of my main watches simply because of the strength we have on this when we gap down. Nice weekly inside bar here. If we do break below 428.80, this thesis is invalidated, and it's setting up for a flag to the downside move. But I do like this. I do think we can see upside. Again, over 452.25 is going to be my main watch here this week. AMD, now this one, it hasn't had the best setup yet, and we are still in a downtrend without a doubt. If we zoom in to the 4 hour, this is a clear downtrend, right? It doesn't get any easier to identify a downtrend than this. But what I do like here from the daily chart is we tried to break and trap shorts below this prior pivot. So we gap down off of earnings, bear trap here on the daily, and then a follow through. I like this as long as we hold 150. We could easily test up into 160 and still be in that downtrend structure and just make a lower high off of this area right here. So that's what I'm trying to play, is just a relief bounce in a downtrend. By no means a trend shift, just a bounce in a downtrend. I do think we can rally up into that 160 area here this week, which would correspond again with a failed breakdown on the weekly. Shorts getting trapped below this low right here, and then stuff them and push that higher. I do not want us to see us open near the bottom end of this wick, as that will show something similar to this setup right here, where we attempted to hold, we wicked and opened at the bottom, and then boom, pushed lower here. So that is going to be another one on watch. Google is another one. Really, it was super, super weak all day. If we go into this and we compare this with QQQ, this was such a weak name. It was selling off while QQQ was consolidating and holding the open. But then what happens is it just turns around and puts in this strong trend right into the close. I want to see us follow through here on a failed breakdown over 167.56, taking this up into that 170, 172 and then 174.71 highs on a failed breakdown, in flipping that script of being very weak in the the early morning session, then flipping to strength in the afternoon. Apple. This one by no means also has not set up yet, but we've flipped the script on this trend by this earnings gap. So you get lower low, lower high, you get the point, lower high, lower low, all of these turning into lower highs and making new lows, and then we get a lower high here. But we form a higher low here off of this bounce, and then we get this earnings gap up. I am not watching this long until over 187 with a target up into like 190, 190, 194, and then 194.69. Outside of that, waiting on this, obviously a sell the gap scenario, but if we put in a nice bullish bar here and Tuesday we follow through, I will be closely eyeing this long here on this coming week. Last one, this one really shit the bed. It gapped up through 76, sold off here, eyeing sub 68.31 to test into this pivot here. This is a weak daily candle bar. Boom, sold off here. Now watching this short below 68.31 into that 66.17 area below. Leave any questions or comments you guys have down below about our team. We would love to have you guys on board. Let us know what you're watching. We always enjoy seeing what you guys are watching here this week. If you have any questions you need help with your trading, feel free to leave any questions or comments below or reach out on Instagram. Hope you guys all have a great weekend and see you guys on Monday. Thank you.